Stop everything you are doing at this very moment. Take a deep breath. If this video has reached you now, it was not by chance. Archangel Michael is opening a door that has been locked in your life for years, perhaps for entire decades. And the truth you need to hear above all else is this: you have not been forgotten. You were being prepared. You have spent your entire life asking, begging, kneeling, screaming on the inside, yet nothing happened because you forgot the main secret. You do not attract what you want. You attract what you feel you already are. Today, in this video, I'm going to give you a reality-shifting technique that will break the spiritual blockage that has paralyzed your life. Stay with me until the end, because what seemed to be a curse was merely a portal waiting to be opened. Have you ever wondered why everything seemed to go well for others, but not for you? Why money slipped through your hands like water through your fingers? Why love always seemed to escape at the very last moment? Why the healing of that family situation never arrived? Why every door you knocked on closed right in front of you? I must tell you with all the spiritual authority I carry in this message, it was not a lack of faith. It was not a sin. It was not a punishment from God. It was simply your state of consciousness, operating on an old program of scarcity, a program that was installed in you during childhood and that no one ever taught you how to turn off. Archangel Michael, the warrior of God, the bearer of the sword of fire, is today cutting that invisible thread that bound you to the past. And when this thread breaks, and it will break as you listen to the next words of this video, your life will never be the same again. Because there is a law, a silent ancient law, more powerful than any belief you may carry. It is called the law of assumption. And it is precisely about it that I need to speak to you now, because without understanding this law, no prayer you offer will work the way you need it to. Pay close attention to what is about to happen, because what is pressing on your chest while you listen to my voice is not anxiety. It is recognition. Your soul is remembering something it cannot yet put into words. It is as if a deep part of you knew that this meeting was scheduled, that you needed to hear this precisely today. Many go through moments like this and ignore them, moving on as if nothing had happened. Few understand that they are being summoned. And Archangel Michael does not summon by chance. He summons those who still have a mission to fulfill, almost always to protect someone, a child, a father, a mother, someone who still depends spiritually on your presence. That is why I have prepared a powerful digital book for you, titled How to Know If God Will Save You on Judgment Day. This book will show you, chapter by chapter, the signs that the Archangel himself is sending into your life, and how to confirm, in your heart, that you are within the divine plan of salvation. The link is pinned in the description, and also at the top of the comments. Just click and download it now. Thousands of brothers and sisters have already been freed from financial blockages, restored in their marriages, and healed in entire families after this reading. This content may be taken down at any moment, so do not postpone this call. If you feel that this message is for you, comment the word Amen now to seal this encounter. Now breathe, because what you have just heard was not an ordinary invitation. It was a sentence being struck through. And as you process this, I must explain to you how, exactly, your life ended up in this blockage. There exists within you an invisible space, an inner scenery, where your entire external reality is built before it appears out here. Neville Goddard called this space the fourth dimension. It is there, and not in your mouth, that prayer truly happens. When you say, Lord, help me with the bills, but internally feel the tightness, the fear, the shame, and the despair of the month that has not yet ended, you are praying twice. You are praying with your mouth for abundance and with your feeling for scarcity. And the universe, which is as obedient as a mirror, responds to what you feel, not to what you speak. That is why your life has seemed stuck, not because God was distant, but because your inner dialogue was sabotaging, without you noticing every request you made. Joseph Murphy taught, based on the scriptures and the laws of the mind, that the subconscious accepts as absolute truth anything that is felt with emotional intensity. And look at how serious this is. You have spent years feeling, with true emotion, that nothing worked out for you. You decreed this, you signed this with your own vibration. And the result came. But the news that Archangel Michael is bringing you today is that all of that can be undone tonight. Yes, this very night. Because the same power that built the blockage is the power that will build the liberation. You only need to learn how to use it. And this is where feeling is the secret comes in. And here I must interrupt you again, because this shift happening in your chest right now is not a passing emotion. It is Archangel Michael breaking a chain you did not even know you were bound by. That is why I have prepared a powerful digital book for you, titled How to Know If God Will Save You at the Final Judgment, with the link at the top of the comments and in the description. Download it today, because every hour of delay is one more hour of blockage. You have been called. Now, answer. Look at how profound this is. The human heart, according to research from the HeartMath Institute, emits an electromagnetic field up to 5,000 times stronger than that of the brain. Each emotion you feel is literally an energetic signature being cast into the field of your reality. When you feel truly with a warm chest that you are already loved, already prosperous, and already healed, this electromagnetic field reorganizes the external environment to match your internal state. This is not empty mysticism, this is the physics of consciousness. And it is precisely about this that the Christ spoke when he said, "Whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have already received it, and it will be yours." Notice that he did not say, "Believe that you will receive." He said, "Believe that you have already received it." In the past tense, in the tense of possession, because the gate of reality only opens to those who assume within themselves that it is already theirs. To assume is not to pretend, it is not to lie to yourself. To assume is to mentally enter the scene in which your desire has already become reality, and to inhabit that scene with so many sensory details that your subconscious accepts it as a lived truth. Imagine, for example, that you have overdue bills, that typical pressure at the end of the month, the payment slip arriving before your salary, the refrigerator emptying while your credit card limit is exceeded. Your mind naturally falls into that place of fear, of racing thoughts, of desperate calculations, and it is precisely this emotional state that continues to attract more scarcity. Now think of another scene. Imagine, calmly, that you are sitting in your living room looking at your phone, and the banking app shows a comfortable, sufficient, abundant balance. Imagine the sound of the notification. Imagine the sensation of relief flowing down through your shoulders. Imagine the deep breath, the involuntary smile, perhaps even the tear that comes when the pressure finally lifts. Imagine your hand picking up the phone to call a son, a brother or a mother and saying, "Mother, everything is fine this month, you can rest." Feel this. Truly feel it. Because while you feel this, with a warm chest, with your stomach relaxing, with your breath deepening, you are, at this very instant, entering the state of consciousness of prosperity. And it is from this state, and not from your mouth in desperation, that your new reality will sprout. This exercise seems simple, but it is precisely at this point that the most common error happens, and that is why your manifestation did not succeed in previous times. People enter the state for 5 minutes and leave it for 20 hours. They re-enter the vibration of fear, the internal dialogue of "but what if it doesn't work?" the negative comment from a neighbor, the newspaper headline, the talk at work, and they undo in silence the entire decree they had made. That is why Archangel Michael is teaching you here now, that persistence is the key that few hold firmly. It is not the duration of the prayer, it is the constancy of the feeling. You do not need to pray for hours. You need to remain throughout the entire day in the emotional climate of the fulfilled desire. And when the contrary thought appears, and it will appear, you simply acknowledge it, breathe, and return. Return to the feeling that it already is. Return to the I am. And here enters one of the most profound teachings I can deliver to you in this life. The two most powerful words in the universe are I am. When God himself presented himself to Moses in Exodus, he did not say I will be, he did not say I can be, he did not say I have, he said I am that I am. Because I am is the name of the Creator, and whenever you say I am, you are literally placing your desire in the name of God. I am abundant. I am loved. I am healed. I am protected. I am free. Be careful with what comes after I am, because everything that comes after is a spiritual signature, and many of you, without realizing it, have spent your lives signing the opposite. I am tired, I am poor, I am sick, I am alone. Each of these phrases was a decree, and the universe fulfilled it faithfully. But today now, in this video, Archangel Michael is placing a sword of fire in your hand, and this sword is your new word. Starting tonight, you will sleep repeating within your chest, in silence, an I am that reorganizes everything. Before falling asleep, in the intermediate state between awake and asleep, in that magical moment when words still pass through the mind, but the body is already resting, repeat softly, I am blessed, I am prosperous, I am loved, I am free. This is the nocturnal reprogramming. It is in this instant that the subconscious is open like a door without a lock, and what you plant there will sprout in the next 24 hours as an external reality. Repeat for 3 nights in a row. You will feel the difference. And this is why this moment you are living in right now cannot pass in vain. Because everything you have just heard, most people will forget by tomorrow. They will return to the old internal dialogue of fear. They will return to the same old conversations with a neighbor, with a brother-in-law, with their own reflection in the mirror. They will say again, but what if it does not work out? And the blockage will reform, worse than it was before. That is why Archangel Michael is, at this very minute, authorizing me to hand you once again the tool to seal this liberation. It is for this reason that I have prepared the powerful digital book for you, titled How to Know If God Will Save You on Judgment Day. This book is not theory, it is a map. Chapter by chapter, it shows you the real signs that the Archangel is sending into this moment of your life, and how you can confirm, with clarity, that you are under the mantle of salvation. There are already thousands of entire families restored after this reading. People who lived in strife, and today live in peace. People who lived in debt, and today live in abundance. People who lived in sickness, and today witness miracles. The link is pinned to the top of the comments and also in the description of this video. Do not delay. This content may be taken offline at any moment because there is spiritual resistance against the truth it carries. Download it now. And while the book is downloading to your phone, write here below in the comments the phrase Archangel Michael I accept, because this phrase, spoken with faith, seals the pact of this night. Now pay attention, because I'm going to reveal the most common error that completely annuls your manifestation, that detail that no one tells you about, and that causes technically good, technically faithful, technically devout people to remain stuck in the same place for years. The error is called spiritual anxiety. It is when you mentally assume the desire fulfilled, feel for a few minutes the joy of having already received it, but the very next minute you are already checking, verifying, asking, where is it? Why has it not arrived yet? This demand disguised as faith is, in truth, a confession of disbelief. Because those who have truly assumed do not keep checking. Those who have truly received do not keep asking. Those who have truly signed the decree do not keep looking at the mailbox. You need to understand one profound thing about the law of assumption. Physical manifestation only happens when your internal state stabilizes. As long as you keep oscillating, the universe stalls. Because the universe can only deliver when you stop doubting. And here enters the most beautiful concept from the work of Neville Goddard, which few know, the bridge of incidents. The bridge of incidents is the invisible sequence of small events that the universe organizes, behind the scenes of your reality, to lead you from your current situation to your desired situation. When you assume the feeling of the desire fulfilled and persist in it, the universe begins to move invisible pieces. A person you did not even know begins to appear on your path. An unexpected call arrives. A door that had been closed for years drifts open. You receive an invitation, a referral, an opportunity. These pieces are not random miracles. They are the bridge of incidents being built between your internal dimension and your external dimension. But here is the detail. Most people, when they see the first brick of this bridge, instead of crossing with faith, start analyzing, suspecting, rationalizing, and the bridge collapses. Archangel Michael is telling you right now, when the door opens, cross it. Do not analyze too much. Cross it. Think of a sister, for example, who was seeking a new love after years of loneliness, after relationships that only caused pain, after that feeling that time was passing and no one would arrive. She internally assumes the feeling of already being loved, every night before sleeping with sincerity, without haste. In a few weeks, she is invited by a friend to an event she would not normally attend. She almost refuses. But something inside her says, "Go." She goes. There she meets someone. It was not luck. It was not coincidence. It was the bridge of incidents. Now think of a man whose company was in debt, on the verge of closing. He internally assumes that he is already prosperous, that he already has solutions, that he is already abundant. It does not change immediately. But 3 weeks later, an old client, whom he did not even remember anymore, calls proposing a partnership that reorganizes the entire cash flow. It was the bridge of incidents. Think of a mother who was crying for the healing of a child in conflict, in addiction, in estrangement. She internally assumes that this child is already restored, that he is already at peace, that he has already returned home. She persists in the feeling for months, and then, on any given morning, the son calls crying, saying, "Mother, I want to come home." It was the bridge of incidents. I need you to understand one thing above all else. Your new reality already exists in the fourth dimension. It is already ready. It has already been built by your desire the instant that desire was born in your heart. What is missing is not God creating your reality. What is missing is for you to occupy its frequency. It is as if your new life were a radio station that is already broadcasting on the air, but you are tuned to another channel, to the channel of scarcity, of fear, of complaint. The law of assumption is simply the act of turning the dial to the channel where your new life is already playing. And once tuned, you hear it. And once you hear it, you cross over. But to tune in, you must take care of your internal dialogue as if it were your breath. Because it is exactly this dialogue, this murmur of thoughts that happens all day long inside your head, that is telling the subconscious who you are. If during the day you converse internally as a victim, as a defeated one, as one forgotten, that is the decree your subconscious will fulfill. But if during the day, in silence, in the car, in the shower, while washing dishes, while walking down the street, you train this internal dialogue to sound like someone who has already received, like someone who is already blessed, like someone who is already protected by Archangel Michael, your subconscious will rewrite your entire life in the next 60 days. 60 days, brother, sister. It is the average time for a complete transformation when the internal dialogue is disciplined with faith. 60 days for the impossible to become a testimony. And look at something interesting. You think this message is being directed to an audience. But if you pay attention to your chest, you will realize that this message is being directed to only one person. You. That is why it is touching exactly where it needed to touch. That is why the tightness that came when I spoke of the bills. That is why the tear that came when I spoke of family healing. That is why the warmth that came when I spoke of a new love. It is not coincidence. It is confirmation. Archangel Michael does not get the address wrong. He only sends the word when he knows the soul will recognize it. Now I'm going to give you the exact spiritual routine that will activate this turning point in your life. Note it down mentally, or pause the video to write it down later. But, above all, promise yourself that you will fulfill it for 7 nights in a row. Not 3, not 4, 7, because 7 is the number of biblical completeness and the cycle must close. Part 1. 5 minutes before going to sleep, you sit on your bed, close your eyes and ask yourself a single question. If my desire were already fulfilled, how would I be feeling right now? And then, without haste, you invite this feeling into your heart. There is no mandatory scene, there is no forced visualization, just the feeling, the gratitude of one who has already received, the peace of one who has already been answered, the lightness of one who has already passed through the storm. 5 minutes. Part 2. Upon lying down in the dark before sleeping in absolute silence, you repeat 3 times calmly within your heart, I am blessed, I am prosperous, I am loved, I am free, I am guarded by Archangel Michael. And then, without demands, without anxiety, You allow yourself to sleep. The subconscious does the rest. Part 3. Upon waking, even before opening your eyes, before picking up your phone, before thinking about the day, you whisper to yourself, "Thank you, because it is already done." Just that. It is not an intellectual prayer. It is a confession from one who has claimed possession. If you do this for 7 nights, I tell you, with the spiritual authority of this message, that by the end of the 2nd week, your outer life will begin to reflect, in clear signs, the turning point that has occurred within you. You will notice small coincidences, the first pieces of the bridge of incidents. Do not doubt, cross it. I know that at this moment there are still doubts in your heart. I know because Archangel Michael is showing me exactly what is going through your mind as you listen. You are thinking, will this work for me? Because I have already tried so many things. I answer you firmly, you have not tried any of this. You tried asking, you tried praying, you tried promising, but you had not yet claimed it, and whoever has not yet claimed it has not received. The act of claiming is different from everything you have done before, because claiming does not ask. Claiming already is. You are also thinking, but my situation is very difficult. You do not know what I am going through. And I tell you, Archangel Michael knows. He is looking at you right now. He knows about the debt that seems without a solution. He knows about that medical exam you are waiting for with a heavy heart. He knows about that child who has drifted away. He knows about that betrayal that still hurts. He knows about that night when you sat on the bathroom floor and asked if it was worth continuing. He was there. He is still here. He is still. And he tells you through this message, none of this was in vain. All of this was the furnace, and you did not come out of the furnace whole by accident. You came out whole because you are the material with which God builds the instruments of His glory. Repeat with me internally now, without moving your lips, only within your heart. I have been prepared, I have been guarded, I have been chosen, and today the harvest begins. Feel this, I am descend through your body. Feel this, I am warm your heart. This is the beginning of the turning point. This is the exact instant in which the 4th dimension adjusts itself to deliver on the physical plane that which you have always known deep down was yours by right. Right of a son, right of a daughter, right of what belongs to the kingdom. And while your mind is still processing all of this, I need you to know what is happening within you at this moment will not turn back. The spiritual information has entered. The seed has been planted. Archangel Michael has cut the cord. From now on, what is up to you is only to water the plant with persistence. It is no longer about whether it will happen. It is about when. And the when depends exclusively on the stability of your feeling of having already received. I must also warn you about a subtle trap. When this transformation begins to appear, and it will perhaps sooner than you imagine, opposing voices will also surface. People close to you, sometimes those you love, will appear saying, "Be careful with this strange faith." Old thoughts will appear in your internal dialogue, trying to pull you back into the vibration of scarcity. News, headlines, conversations, and small situations will emerge trying to reactivate fear. This is normal. It is in fact a sign that it is working, because the old reality does not dismantle without resistance. It fights to maintain itself. And Archangel Michael is giving you today the sword to cut this struggle in two. The sword is the I am. Every time an opposing voice appears, you respond within your chest, "I am protected, I am prosperous, I am loved, I am free." And you carry on. Be especially careful with your own internal dialogue while in the shower. Notice, the bathroom is the place where most people offer their most sincere prayers. It is there, in thought, that the soul speaks without censorship. And it is exactly there that you must begin to practice the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Instead of crying over the bill, give thanks for the bill paid. Instead of complaining about an absent husband, feel the husband present. Instead of thinking about a lost child, speak internally to the restored child. This exercise, done every day in the shower, is one of the most powerful tools I can give you. Because water, in spiritual symbolism, is purification. And while the water washes your body, the feeling of "it already is washing your field. I ask you now, with all the depth of this message, are you willing to accept this new state of consciousness? Are you willing to switch off, once and for all, the old program of scarcity that has been running in your mind since childhood? Are you willing to stop asking and start assuming? Because the like on this video is not just a click. The like is a decree of acceptance. Tap the like now, because by tapping it you are saying, in the frequency of your soul, I accept what Archangel Michael is bringing me. And your subscription to this channel is not just a sign-up. To subscribe is to enroll yourself in the very list of daily spiritual renewal. It is to ensure that other messages like this reach you the instant you need them most. Do it now, not later, now. And I will tell you one last thing before I release you into this new phase. Most people who watch messages like this finish the video feeling moved, but the next day they return to their old life. They return to the old thinking, the old complaints, the old fear. And then the blockage reforms with triple the strength. Do not be that person. Tonight, without fail, before you sleep, repeat the I am statements I have given you. Do the nightly reprogramming. Feel with a warm heart that you have already received. Wake up tomorrow whispering, thank you, for it is already done. And observe. Observe the strange people who will appear, the unexpected calls, the doors that will open in ways you cannot explain. All of this is the bridge of incidents being built in real time to take you from where you are to where you need to arrive. There is no going back. The thread has been cut. The blockage has been removed. The life that seemed locked is, at this very instant, being unlocked by Archangel Michael. And before I conclude this message, Archangel Michael asks me to remind you of one thing, precisely because he knows that this moment you have just experienced was no coincidence. You were led to this video, to this exact line, because there is still a mission upon your head, likely to protect someone in your family, likely to open a path for your own kin, likely to carry a light that others will need to see. That is why I have prepared a powerful digital book for you, titled How to Know If God Will Save You on Judgment Day. This book will provide you with the signs the Archangel is using to confirm your place within the divine plan, and how to interpret each one of them in your daily life. The link is pinned in the description and at the top of the comments. Download it today, this very night before you sleep. Do not postpone this call, for everything that is postponed is diluted. And to seal this journey, comment below, Archangel Michael, I accept my unlocking. So mote it be. Amen.